Ow! Ow, 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 ow. What the hell's going on here? Why isn't my stream working? What the heck? It should be up. And it says right here, main. Oh, there we go. I found it. It's Dog Park Friday, people. Are you ready? I don't know. I don't know if I am. Clearly. Oh, they got a little. What the hell's all this stuff? Hey, let me figure this out while I play the intro. See you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Yeah. Stop the music. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. I'm here. I was gonna say I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it, but I'm not queer. I don't know. That doesn't matter. I have a cup of orange juice that I'm finishing off before I hit my reparations coffee, and that was delicious. Well, so it's Dog Park Friday. If you're interested in joining me for a question or a topic or two, let me know in my DMs. They are open, or you can hit me at my email, pdognight@gmail.com. But if you email me, you got to tell me in the chat that you emailed me, because I don't have any way. What the hell is going on? We're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, I guess we'll find out in a minute. Anyway, let me know if you want to join me in the dog park. Now, I got a couple DMs that I hadn't even noticed here. And these are from, I see. I got a couple links. Oh, I should be paying attention. George, Pink Hollow. I never did go through that one. And, Ann Coulter tries to dunk on a Twitter user. Okay, we'll get into those. Shortly. But anyway, hey, it is Friday, November 1st. I hope you said rabbit this morning. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That was my drama teacher. What? Okay, this is interesting. Someone sent me a DM that says, you have a Nigerian flag on your any story behind that. What does that mean? Okay, I'm going to ask them. Let's see who this person is. I've never heard. Tom, okay. From hell once again with shittiness. What is this? All right, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's fascinating because someone sent me this DM, something about me having a Nigerian flag in my bio, which I do because my heritage is Nigerian and Irish. Although I'm 100% American, just let you know that. I'm as American as apple pie, people. I just am. So anyway, this person decided that something about my having a Nigerian flag, you're on your any story behind that. Or maybe he's asked me what's the story behind that. Anyway, if you weren't aware of my backstory, I was born to a single unwed mother when I was a child, and she gave me up for adoption. I lived in a foster home for 4 years of my life on a farm somewhere near Dubuque, Iowa. At least the part that I know about. That's where I was before I was adopted. And then my family that I grew up with, a black family from Omaha, Nebraska, adopted me. And so then I grew up in that home and discovered my heritage in my late 30s and early 40s, where I met both my birth mother and my natural father. Okay, and so I have a relationship with both of those people as well as the family I grew up with, and that's the backstory. Anyway, we'll get into that another time. That's a whole fascinating story if you haven't already heard it. Let's do this. I'm gonna quickly. By the way, thank you, Tyler F. Truck and Bear, purveyor of Persian, aka Shiagrath, for tweeting out the show this morning. As you are the arbiters of my success at some point, although I have a great responsibility of my own. If you would want to help me out and either retweet my notifications, or you can hit the share button right down there and share out the show, because you are the sponsors of the Morning Night Live, and that's how you can help me out. Also, you can hit the like button if you like what we're doing. And during our show, if you'd like to do super chats, you can do those in the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Now, it is Dog Park Friday, and I certainly, at a point in the show, I would love to have you come on if you're interested and talk with me. If you have a microphone and some headphones available, that would be great. If you don't, that's fine. Just enjoy the show like you normally do, because we're going to kind of do the same thing we do every day. Go through a little news, check out what's trending on Twitter, and see what's happening in the world. So I do have several bookmarks ready to go. And let's see, let's take it away. Oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And some of this, oh no, I didn't even see this. Okay, yeah, I did. So all kinds of things happening here. First of all, I don't know if you saw this, and this is just kind of a fun, doggone it, before I do this even, I am going to, let me put this in the background here. All right, before we even do that, let me say good morning to the people who are here, because I just appreciate you guys who come to the show early and are here almost early every day. And particularly the number one and number two people are always here right when we go live. Good morning, Shiagrath, who gets the bell. And C. Thomas, I literally just missed it. I mean, you were that close. It was boom, boom, Shiagrath, C. Thomas. Gotcha. But anyway, good morning, C. Thomas, Corbin, Gulf City Peasant, Chi-Town J. Who else we got going here? Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors, Tyler F., Jaeger Pony, Rolling Bear, the gayest person on YouTube. Are you really the gayest person on YouTube? Could be. You say I'm going to, since you identify as the gayest person on YouTube, we're gonna go with that, okay? I will give you that, okay? And good morning, Maniac Man. So that's who's here in the chat so far, and there's a handful of people lurking also. Oh, Duck Dog too. I almost missed you. Don't let me miss Duck Dog. My favorite purveyor of dislikes, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. All right. So now the first one I have today. This one is just kind of this is a feel-good thing. This is not the normal thing that I do. Usually I try to, have news or some politics or some social stuff, but I just thought this was a nice little video on Twitter, and it made me feel good, so I am going to play it, because me being the lover of dogs, just made me feel like all warm and fuzzy inside, and so I just wanted to show you this video because it's a good one. So let me do this. Let's get to Twitter right there, and here we go. So I'll click play here. Now this the title is "Not All Heroes Wear Capes." So take a look-see at this. This is pretty good. Is it possibly gayer than Jeffree Star or whatever the hell his name is? It's funny, Maniac Man. That's a good question, because just how so happens that Jeffree Star is trending today, and I don't know why, but we're going to find out when we get to Twitter trends. All right, here we go. All right, so this this officer's climbing over a fence. Okay, now why is he climbing over the fence? Oh, you'll see in a second. This poor dog is caught. Now I'm just wondering how the hell the dog got caught up in this awning like it is, but the dog is not happy with the awning, and he's not happy with the officer trying to help him. So just But I think the dog finally figures out, oh, he's trying to help me, but he also is going to try to bite me too. He wants out of that really bad. Oh, and that may have been the way to get him out of there. There he goes. And, oh, he gives the officer a big hug. Oh, that is so sweet. It is so sweet. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's cool. Ironically to that, I rarely ever touch Twitter. Okay. Twitter can be, Twitter can suck sometimes. But hey, Mr. Dax, good morning. So there you go. I just needed something to make me smile this morning. Now let's go here. Let's see. There's a couple things in here. We already saw this the other day. Forensic investigator Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy more consistent with homicide. Mind blown. Yeah. Duh. That's funny. All right, let's move on to this. Now, this is interesting. This panelist, I'm going to go through this video because Anna Navarro makes me sick. She's just a crazy bitch. She's just, it's funny. We have a lot less Republicans than we did ever before in the House of Representatives. Ever before? Oh, before. Anyway, let's just, if you can stomach it, let's listen to Anna Navarro. I'm going to try and stomach this. Because the CNN tweet, and you know what's funny? I remember when CNN seemed like it was neutral. But, Jeffrey Zucker has made CNN the full-on anti-Trump network. We're just fine. That's his prerogative. He runs the place, and they can do what they want. I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not anti-Trump. I'm neutral Trump, but see the value in his jackassery, because I say it all the time. Donald Trump is a jackass. His opponents and resistors know he's a jackass. His supporters know he's a jackass, and he knows he's a jackass. He's from New York City. I think, for the most part, people from New York City are jackasses. That doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just jackasses. He's the quintessence. I mean, having a New Yorker as president of the United States, I don't care if they were Republican or Democrat. They're probably going to be kind of a jackass because that's just how New Yorkers can be. You have to be somewhat of a jackass to survive in New York City. And he is in the real estate business where you really got to be a jackass. So, okay. Let's listen to this 5 minutes of funk. Excuse me, 6. Speaking of funk, should we do some funk today? I'll do funk after this clip. Because I haven't watched this. But I may be stopping it and screaming at my screen for a little bit. So here we go.
Over all this, Anna, let me start with you. We have heard House Republicans expressing concern about what President Trump did. Not a lot, but some, including Adam Kinzinger.
And what he did I still haven't found the law in the books. I'm sorry. I'm already cutting this off because it's going to piss me off. But anyway.
Mr. Feeney of Florida.
She's such a smug. I'm trying to avoid words that rhyme with hunt and twitch, but okay, I'm good. Let's go on.
But not one voted to proceed with the inquiry. Were you surprised?
Let's stop with before she even starts her answer to that question. So, not one voted to proceed with the inquiry. Now, fascinating that there's no more. That's all the question is, because remember, the Republicans offered I can't remember how many amendments. They offered so many amendments, all got shot down. The Republicans just want to be able to answer questions, right? And so not one Republican voted to proceed with the inquiry as written in this bill that gives Adam Schiff almost unlimited power on whether or not what's disseminated and so on. Okay, let's just remember what this thing that none of them voted for is. Okay, now I don't know if they would have voted for it if they'd gotten their amendments approved. Maybe they would. I would, because there should be some sort of opportunity. Like, for example, here's one of the things in the bill. The Republicans tried to get an amendment that would require the committee to present exculpatory evidence, meaning evidence that could be not in the favor of what they're trying to do here. That amendment was shot down. The Republicans tried to have an amendment where they could present evidence, where they had power to require the normal procedures in this type of hearing, which got shot down. So his question of, well, none of the Republicans voted to proceed on the inquiry, ain't that simple. But he asked it as a simple question. Now, let's see what everyone's favorite conservative, former Republican, Ana Navarro has to, how she answers this. Here we go.
No, I wasn't. Look, I think this was expected, and I think Donald Trump has been incredibly effective in instituting discipline within the Republican Party. And in
Well, that's interesting. That's sort of a compliment, is it? Or is it a backhanded compliment? I guess we'll find out in a moment.
demanding absolute loyalty.
Oh, demanding absolute loyalty. Not that this is just kind of a one-sided inquiry. Okay, let's go.
Any speaking up against him, any voting against him would be considered an act of disloyalty to be punished by mean tweets and go.
Republicans afraid of mean tweets. Yeah, that's okay. Interesting.
Going after them in campaigns. We have a lot less Republicans than we did before in the House of Representatives, but they are far more.
Wait a minute. I want you to see something. Look, not on Paul Begala. I don't know who the other chick is. What chick? I shouldn't call her a chick. Well, the other chick. Did someone? Okay, I don't know who the other chick is, but look at the look on her face. She looks incredibly fearful of Ana Navarro. Watch, take a look.
Tweets and going after them in campaigns. We have a lot less Republicans than we did.
Look at her face. She looks terrified. Begala's like, well, he's just a kind of a dullard anyway, but look at that girl's face. She looks terrified. Anyway.
Before in the House of Representatives, but they are far more loyal. Blindly loyal, cultishly loyal.
Blindly loyal, cultishly loyal. Interesting. And the two Democrats that voted against it are not. So the Republican side had bipartisan support. Sweet tea. Okay, actually it's my reparations coffee. Oh, here, I'll put it where you see it. My reparation coffee in the house.
Donald Trump.
And Mike, let me ask you, the Republicans have had, I think even some Democrats would acknowledge, a fairly effective communication message in terms of talking about how the process has not been transparent. It's been behind closed doors.
Oh, well, it's easy to have an effective message about it not being transparent and being behind closed doors when the process is not transparent and it's behind closed doors. And especially for something, none of the stuff that they've gone through is classified. That's the reason they're doing it. See, this is why they're doing this, the Intelligence Committee, because Adam Schiff can put it behind closed doors, because the Intelligence Committee is not unusual. It's not unusual for them to have meetings in a skiff when there's some dangerous information out there. This should be happening on Adam Schiff. Why is Adam Schiff driving this boat? and not Jerry Nadler from the Judicial Committee, because the Judicial Committee is the committee that actually is involved in impeachment, if there were impeachment. But this impeachment inquiry is just crazy. And I don't, if they want to impeach him, get out in the open, and so we know why. But also, you should, if there's exculpatory evidence, why shouldn't the American public also see that? And just assume, because they want to leak, they want to create a narrative. And so they leak selectively. They don't allow the Republican questions and answers to those questions go out into the public. So all you're hearing is the opening statements, or what the testimony they made was, as the chairman allows. The chairman, Adam Schiff.
We can debate those merits, and we have. But beyond that, that's now over. These will be open hearings. The deposition transcripts will be released.
So they
Republicans
will be
at
open
least
hearings now.
have an
Good.
opportunity to try to subpoena witnesses. What will the arguments from Republicans be more substantive about the actual case now, you think?
I think so. I think that they've made a good case on process. And I love being on here with Paul, because I worked for Newt Gingrich, as we talked about, during the last impeachment, and he worked for President Clinton and admirably did a great job defending the president. You know, when that vote happened, Dick Ephardt and Newt Gingrich went together to create the rules for that. In fact, Newt asked Jim Rogan, congressman from California, to look back on the Watergate process and see what rights the Democrats gave to the minority, and said, we're going to offer those to Gephardt. Gephardt accepted them, and we had a bipartisan vote. Nancy Pelosi said previously, we can't do this unless it's bipartisan. That's out the window. Kevin McCarthy offered the same thing. What Newt had with Rogan and what Gephardt voted for was offered to Pelosi. She turned it down. So I think they will get into substance, but they're still going to talk about the fact that this is...
Look at her. Look at him. She just... a
very partisan process. They're going to keep talking about that the whole way through, because the American people are actually the jury, and they're the ones who are going to look at this. And when you know it's partisan, it colors everything you hear after that.
And the trivia, of course, who beat Rogan in the House race? Adam Schiff. It all comes full circle. Jackie, this resolution allows Republicans to subpoena witnesses, but Democrats really ultimately get the final sign-off. They get the veto power, as it were, and then Republicans can protest, bring it to a full committee vote, but there are more Democrats than Republicans on the committee. So it really isn't a fully bipartisan process in that way.
No, Democrats are definitely in the driver's seat, and they're strategizing as to how to not let Republicans derail this, because that's what that's going to be part of the strategy here, is to, I mean, you heard it on the floor today, talk about it as a sham, talk about how partisan it is. So
what's her name? I don't know her name. Did it say? Jackie Kucinich? Oh my God. She's the Washington bureau chief. Jackie Kucinich. All right, let's look up. Let's find out who Jackie Kucinich is. Let's just look it up. Jackie Kucinich. Oh, someone looked up Jackie Kucinich bikini. Why did they do that? Jackie Kucinich. Let's look at her. Okay, here we go. This is how it works. Okay. Oh, Jackie Kucinich is an American reporter. She is currently Washington bureau chief for the Daily Beast. Since the 2016 presidential election, she has been a CNN commenter. She's the daughter of Dennis Kucinich, former mayor of Cleveland, a Democratic congressman, two-time presidential candidate. You know, it's funny how you just happen to have Dennis Kucinich was one of the most people on the left in the Congress. He's a Democrat. And the one thing I really like about Dennis Kucinich, though, and I don't agree with him on policy or politics or whatever, but Dennis Kucinich was always honest. He tell you right up front, whatever bullshit he was trying to do, and he was honest, and he's respected, even though he's just as far out there left as Bernie Sanders almost. But he's honest, and Bernie's kind of that way too. Bernie's honest, but anyway. But it's funny. So you got a CNN commentator. It's like all the left-wing former people in Congress and all the left-wing people end up on CNN. What's Cuomo? Chris Cuomo, the son of Mario Cuomo and brother of Andrew Cuomo. Oh my God. It's left-wing nepotism. It's crazy. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $2 super chat via the Streamlabs link down below. C. Thomas says, I remember when Navarro was defending everything McCain did during his campaign. Funny how she and hers are all going, how dare you not let us make this a one-sided affair? How dare you? While claiming the right is a cult while they do it themselves. Well, it's kind of appropriate, Corbin, that she happens to be, she was a McCain person too, because McCain, may he rest in peace, it was a snake, okay? McCain was a complete and utter snake. And like I said, when they start bringing up this Inspector General and when Durham comes out with all the stuff that's how this shit all started with the Russia investigation and whatnot, I just almost in my brain can almost guarantee that John McCain was in the thick of it, okay? Because John McCain was one of those people who handled one of the versions of the dossier that was given out to the press or whatever, brought to the FBI. He was used like a pawn, and because John McCain was about John McCain and his what's the word, and his profile, his public perception. So it's no shock that she's a McCain person. Anyway, thank you, C. Thomas, for the $2 super chat. Super chats, there's a Streamlabs link in the description down below. All right, let's keep going on this real quick.
Be part of the strategy here is to, you heard it on the floor today, talk about it as a sham, talk about how partisan it is.
It is partisan.
So that allows them to maintain some semblance of control, even if they Republicans are trying to pull it in another direction.
Sure. She always just looked like she's pissed off, Anna. By the way, good morning, Johnny Hellcat. Good morning, D.I. Freighter, Jaeger Pony, and anyone else who has popped in on the way in. Also, real quick, I got to check something just for a second here. I got thank you, G Prime, and okay, thank you, G Prime, for tweeting out the stream. I know you tend to lurk in the background. That's great. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here, man. All right, back to the. Oh shoot! Did I just? I knew I'd do that. I forgot. You shouldn't do that when you're in the middle of a thing. Let's see if I can catch up.
It all comes full circle. Jackie.
And that's going to be part of the strategy.
Okay.
Some semblance of control, even if they Republicans are trying to pull it in another direction.
And speaking of that and derailing it as you will have it, take a listen, Paul. To
you know what? I just figured it out. Okay, I think I've mistaken Anna Navarro. She just has a classic case of resting bitch face. I thought that she was just being smug, but that she just has resting bitch face. Okay, but I don't know. Anyway.
The ranking Republican on the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins, talking about a witness that he wants to call before the committee.
I do have one thing for Mr. Schiff. If he wants to be, as said, a special counsel, he set himself up, then here's my challenge to Mr. Schiff. You want to be Ken Starr? Be Ken Starr. Come to the Judiciary Committee, be the first witness, and take every question asked of you.
And he should, because they have some. I know what they want to ask him. I know, and maybe they'll make this point, but I'm going to make it first. They want to ask Adam Schiff what his relationship is with the whistleblower. Sorry, I didn't put that back on the screen. They want to ask him what his relationship is with the whistleblower. because the whistleblower came to his staff prior to writing their whistleblower report. And Adam Schiff, in the week coming up to the whistleblower coming out, was talking a lot about all the things the whistleblower was putting in the whistleblower report. So apparently, either Adam Schiff is clairvoyant, or there's some funny business going on with the whistleblower report. But you know what? It's neither here nor there. They were trying to roll this out the way they wanted to roll it out, and Trump kind of fucked it up for him by putting out the memo of the, not transcript, because it's not a transcript, but the memo that commemorates the conversation he had with Zelensky. So that kind of screwed him up a little bit. So now they keep bringing in more witnesses and more witnesses, and they're oh, makes your head hurt. But let's move on. Let's find out let's see what they say about them wanting to call Adam Schiff as a witness.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, first off, it's silly. He's a colleague. They can ask him any question anytime they want on the floor. Second,
Begala knows he's bullshitting right there. But Begala is the king of bullshit. Begala can talk circles with the fucking crop circles people, okay? Here's what... There's a huge difference in asking Adam Schiff to be a witness and being questioned under oath than there is just asking him on the floor. He doesn't have to answer to anybody on the floor. They certainly can ask him questions, but he doesn't have to answer shit. But if he's a witness under oath, but you know what? They're not going to do it because the Democrats are in control. And they, you know what? Guess what? The American people voted them in, and they have the majority in the House, and they have their prerogative. But you know, if they keep going through this in a way that does not look fair, and that's the Republican strategy, just keep saying this doesn't look fair, it's a sham, like she said, then you're going to have to decide which side is right? Well, we've already seen some polls that say that this whole process doesn't seem to be fair. But, you know, who knows? Here we go. Let's see what else Begala says.
and be careful what you wish for. Doug Collins, fine man. He ain't going to do very well in the battle of wits with Adam Schiff. I'm sorry, he's just not. This is the problem with their messaging. I think Mike points it out. It's just tactical. Oh, we want an open process. Okay, now you're getting one. We want a formal vote on opening an inquiry. Okay, now you're getting one. We want the right to...
Yeah, but you're not... I'll let him talk. Hang on.
cross-examine. We want the president's lawyers to be in the room. You're getting that. You're getting that. You know what they're never saying? He's innocent.
Well, some of them are.
The president, not Mr. Collins is not. The president's own nominee for ambassador to Russia, his deputy secretary of state today, under oath, said, yes, it would be against our values to ask a foreign government to intervene in our elections.
He didn't ask him to intervene in our election, you asswipe. Sorry. I knew that I was going to yell, so I had to get away from the microphone. This language of asking him to intervene in our election is a Democratic talking point. That is complete and utter bullshit. Joe Biden, investigating the possible corruption of Joe Biden and his son, the quid pro quo, which wasn't even the main thing they were asking about. That was not the main part of the conversation. The main part of the conversation was, we're investigating some corruption from the 2016 election. We're asking you for cooperation. The Democrats do not want them to cooperate in investigating the 2016 election. The stuff about Trump and the Bidens on a investigation that the Ukrainians had already reopened, as we're learning through this process, involves somebody named Biden. Because somebody named Biden was on the board of that company. This is not a request to interfere in our elections. But if you call investigating a candidate for corruption, if you consider that interfering in our election, then the government of the United States did everything they could to interfere in the 2016 election because they investigated both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Were those investigations designed to interfere in our election? Well, one sure was. Because the investigation of Hillary Clinton was a leftover from her being a Secretary of State. And so that particular investigation, I think, was a legit one. Now, the Russian one, we're finding out, the more we find out about the Russian investigation and the supposed collusion investigation, it's funny how we're starting to get evidence that maybe that wasn't quite kosher. God, I hate these people. I didn't intend to get on this for this long, but here we go, continuing.
His own Deputy Secretary of State, the guy he's putting up to be ambassador to Russia, can't abide what this president is doing. Why? Because it is indefensible.
Mike, 2 Democrats voted against.
Yeah, if you ask the question, okay, listen to this. If the question is, should a president be able to ask a foreign country to interfere in our election? Well, what the hell would you answer? You'd answer no, right? That's great if that were the question. But that's not the question here. First of all, Biden's not the Democrat, not his opponent in the election. Right now, Donald Trump doesn't have an opponent in the election. Now, Biden is running amongst his fellow Democrats to hopefully become President Trump's opponent in the next election. He's the leading candidate, which is sad because, well, I don't know. I'm not a Democrat, so I don't have really any skin in the game. But man, the Gaffe Master General being the nominee, and he's your he's your front runner. The Gaffe Master General is your front runner. Whoo, good luck. You know, I think the only thing that he has going for him is that Trump derangement syndrome is at a full-time high, and the and granted, the media machine that says has been very successful at demonizing Trump. Johnny Hellcat with the $5 super chat. People weren't paying this much attention to the Ukraine when Russia took over Crimea. Funny they're paying attention to it now, but for the wrong reason. Yeah, there was... I agree and I disagree slightly. They were paying attention to Crimea, but they sure didn't do shit about it, right? Maybe I suppose there was sanctions, but that was all during the time too, though, that we went through the reset button with Hillary Clinton, and I'll have more flexibility after the election when talking to the Russian, what was the Russian ambassador, whatever, saying, tell them that I'll have more flexibility after the election, and we'll and when I win the election, then I can do whatever the hell I want because it's my final term. He didn't. Now I just pulled an Adam Schiff there. Oh, maybe that's what we should call it. Whenever you put words in someone's mouth, or make Cenk Uygur is a classic at this, pulling a shift. I'm going to call it pulling a shift. Dropping a shift, pulling a shift. Anyway, when you do a dramatization of what the other person said and kind of really twist it to be really completely either a straw man or completely different than what it was. Okay, but in Obama's case, when he was sitting down with that Russian ambassador and telling him, I got an election right now, so I don't want to do this right now. I'm doing that thing. I'm doing that dramatization thing. We have an election coming up. So if I say this right now, this will be bad for the election. But let him know that I'll have a lot more flexibility after the election to do whatever he really wants to do, and so we can see more of our power, right? C. Thomas with $1 super chat. Remember, P-Dog, they operate by the mindset of it's okay when we do it, and they want to bitch about laws being broke when they break every law, they accuse Trump of, plus all of the nepotism, projection. Never once, Goyams. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. You get a little shift on your mouth there. Excuse me. Yeah, I got that. Okay. Thank you, C. Thomas. Also, and thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the super chats. I greatly appreciate it. You don't know how much those mean to me. And you get to be a part of the show when you see. Now these guys get to be a part of the show. I appreciate it. People who are able to do the super chats and stuff, it helps me immensely. I'm just telling you. All right, let's finish this thing out and move on.
Instead, both of them from Trump districts. Colin Peterson from Minnesota, which is a district that went 2-1 for Trump. The other one from Southern Jersey, Trump won that district by 5 points. Were you surprised that so few Democrats voted against it? Because there are a lot of
Colin. I didn't realize it was Colin Peterson was one of the Democrats. He's from a heavily favored Trump district, which used to be as blue as possible. I mean, the big DFL, which stands for Democratic Farmer Labor Party in Minnesota. That district is a total Trump district now. Anyway.
From seats that Trump won, and it's a risky vote.
Yeah, I want to sort of mirror what Anna's answer was. No, I'm not surprised because of the discipline that AOC and that Nancy Pelosi have had to give into on the left.
AOC, listen to you.
Well, where is this coming from? Nancy Pelosi didn't want to do this. Nancy Pelosi, I give a lot of credit to. During the 2018 election, she told her candidates, don't talk about impeachment. Suburban educated women think that's a bridge too far. They want to focus on health care. And her candidates listened. Now they're in office.
And she won the House.
And they won the House.
Yeah.
Now they're in office. There's 29 members that are sitting in Trump districts or close to Trump districts, and she lost the fight. She tried to stop this from happening. The left wing got them to a place where they had to do it, and those people were made to walk. Those people were made to walk the plank today, and they're going to suffer.
She shut up real quick when he explained it because he was right about Nancy Pelosi. That's funny. Hey, Smarty Bear. Good morning. Glad you're here.
I don't think it was the left wing. Listen, it's true that Nancy Pelosi didn't want to do this. And I actually think that gives her much more credibility and gravitas on this issue. She didn't want to do this for political reasons. What dragged her there, kicking and screaming, were the facts. Were those testimonies of people like Vinland, like Sondland.
False. That's absolutely false. Because the testimonies happened after Pelosi changed her mind. Let's see if this guy catches on to what she just said here. That's BS. That's bullshit. Let's go. Yeah, that's complete and utter bullshit.
Like Hill, like the ambassador, all of these testimonies that have been corroborating what the whistleblower said.
Nope. The testimony happened after Nancy Pelosi changed her mind.
Facts have led her there.
That's false. Anyway, all right, moving on. That's enough of them buttheads. I shouldn't call them buttheads. That's not nice. All right, let's see. What else I got here? Now, I didn't even watch this, but this is interesting. So this is Zuby. If you're familiar with Zuby, he was on someone's show. I think he was on with what's his name? Tucker Carlson. Am I blanking on Tucker Carlson? I thought this was interesting, but then there's a response that someone up here made was also very interesting. And I'm going to try to have some of these people on. And I don't know if this person's one of the CBC, the Conscious Black Conservatives, but I want to try to have them on in one of these Friday dog parks, because they have an interesting perspective on conservatism in Black America. And so, but here's Zuby, and this is interesting.
I'm from the UK.
Yes.
But as someone who's from the UK for well over a decade, since I started thinking about anything politically, I have always looked at the fact that.
Oh, by the way, Zuby's I don't know, he's a famous rapper. He's a recording artist from the UK. Anyway.
Black Americans vote around 90% for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Which is weird. I mean, any demographic group voting that much in favor of one party sort of raises questions, especially when you've got a lot of cities where that party is in charge and people are not happy with the way things have been going for multiple decades.
Yes, that's right.
And rather than looking at the other side or questioning, there's just this sort of allegiance to it. Now, I myself am not a Black American. I don't want to speak for any other people other than myself.
Now, one thing that as I walk around Twitter with people I follow who are at black conservatives, black not conservatives, whatnot. One guy got really mad because, well, who do you think you are speaking for Black Americans? You're not a Black American, blah, 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 blah. And he says I'm not speaking for Black Americans, but then he kind of does. So I can understand why some people might be annoyed with this. But anyway, here.
Myself, but again, I think the core message, both in what I put out there and what I think Kanye West and similar people are putting out there, is not saying, look, you need to become conservative, you must vote Trump, you must vote Republican, anything like that. I think it's just saying, like, look, there are alternate perspectives here. And firstly, it's okay to voice an alternate perspective without being demonized and attacked. I mean, we're seeing what's happening. Lots of the stuff that happened with him in 2018 when he first came out and had some positive things to say about Trump or about conservative values or anything like that. I mean, he got mobbed, and that's because he's such a huge cultural figure, both within and outside of music. So if someone...
Now, my personal take on the Kanye West thing is... Kanye can be Kanye and do whatever he wants, and it's interesting that he's, his current. He just put out I don't know, his 8-track set. We used to call them albums. Maybe you still call it an album. Basically talking about his Christianity and his faith and whatnot. Basically all about his faith, and it's interesting. And he's still. I don't know if he's a Trump train guy, but he's definitely not interested in being pigeonholed in what's as being a Democrat, being pigeonholed on any political party for that matter. But he is supportive of Trump, and he also, along with his wife, obviously have worked with Trump on some things and are still working with him on things. So I think Trump listens to what this interesting family, being Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, he listens to what they say, and he takes advice from them, which is interesting to me right off the bat, because does Trump need the black vote? Well, he didn't last time. So I don't think Trump has to pander to black people. And yet he does do some things that seem to at least be geared towards black issues. For example, the First Step Act and the Second Step Act that they're working on, being criminal justice reform, because that's, in the black community, that's an important issue, because there's a perception that the justice system is unfair to black people. And in some ways it is, some ways it's not. I'm not going to get into that discussion right now, but that is a issue that is important in the black community. Also, the empowerment zones that he started with, and he also did some stuff with black colleges early on in his presidency. Does he need the votes to win? No, and especially since we, in general, not me, but we, as in black people, tend to vote Democrat over 90%, right? So, is it a great use of time to try to crack that? Well, I don't think he's necessarily trying to crack that. I think he's just doing things that people ask him to do, because when people ask him to do stuff, he tends to take a look and say, hey, what can I do? Can I do that or can I do that? Okay, in this case of criminal justice reform, he's like, hey, we can do that. Let's get Jared and whoever else saw in this. And they did. And they did it successfully. And they're continuing on that. So as far as Kanye goes, I'm like, okay, guess what? You can't get your ideas in there if you're not willing to be in the room. And so I think Kanye's willing to be in the room. Whether or not he's a huge supporter of the president or not, he's going in the room, and guess what? His voice is getting heard. If you're not willing to go in the room, you're never going to be heard. You're never even going to get a chance to talk if you never go in the room. And so that's an interesting. So they're talking about this. Kanye's still getting a lot of crap from certain people, but whatever. Here we go.
With his gravitas is saying that and then going out there and getting Jesus is King trending on Twitter and becoming the biggest album in the world. That's a threat to a lot of people. It sounds weird and it sounds backwards, but that is genuinely a threat to.
Well, tell me if this has happened to you. I think of course it's a threat. It's also a wonderful opportunity for the rest of us to hear these issues discussed. I mean, there's such a narrow range of things that we talk about. It's boring. Yeah. It'd be interesting to talk about whether or not Jesus is king, I think. But no one wants to have those conversations, and so they dismiss him, as you know, and many others. Does that happen to you?
Okay, I don't care whether it happens to Zuby, so I'm gonna stop here. But here's interesting. No demographic. So he tweets, no demographic is owned by any political party. Think for yourself and don't be afraid to. I think this gal Angela Swinson makes kind of a good point too, though. Somewhat. I'm gonna have a caveat on that. So she says, why do people ignore that Jews, Asians, and Hispanics and gays also overwhelmingly vote for the Democratic Party, not just blacks? If Republicans don't get the vote of any minority, isn't that their fault? Why do Republicans blame minorities instead of take responsibility? That's an interesting point, except for what does she mean by overwhelmingly? For example, I'm not sure. It's funny. You never get. I noticed. Have you ever noticed that no one really ever tells you who Asians vote for? Do you ever notice that? Because Asians are what, 5% of the population. Do you ever hear about their demographic as far as voting? Now, Hispanics you hear about, and we know that Hispanics 30% voted for Trump in the last election, which is shocking for some people thinking, especially the pundit, this left-wing pundit class, because it kills them that Hispanics vote pretty heavily for Trump. Which 30% is pretty good, right? That's not overwhelming. 60% is not overwhelming, or 70%. It's a vast majority, but not overwhelming. Overwhelming is 90%, like black people, right? But 30% of Hispanics vote for Trump. And his popularity among Hispanics is much higher than that right now. Not popularity, just his approval rating, I should say. It's almost the same as the general public. Jews? You know what? There's a lot. You'd be surprised. Now, yes, a large part of the Jewish community votes Democrat, but guess what? There's a huge conservative faction of Jewish people too. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $1 super chat on the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Streamlabs.com/pdognight will take you there. This is my general observation. I find it rather sad that within the black community, there is a cult-like mentality to vote left and condemn right, all because they're told by the Democrats, while those same Democrats fuck them over. Here's one thing that I am trying to get away from, and thank you, C. Thomas, for this $1 super chat. I think I don't know if it's necessarily cult-like, but there is a perception in the black community that Democrats are trying to help. and the Democrats are interested in black issues because it's like every 4 years and every 2 years, I should say, Democratic politicians come around and tell you that they care about your issues and they think that, they have these solutions, that we're going to take something from someone else and give it to you and yada, yada, yada. And, but the solutions they come up with, I don't appeal to me personally as a black person. So I tend to go, nah, that don't work. It hasn't worked since 1966 or whatever, when the Great Society. Okay. So this Great Society was supposed to help us, but are we that much better off? Although, I would say in some ways we are, but that has nothing to do with the Great Society. Okay. Because, we are, the poverty rates are going down. Right now, there's jobs. I found an interesting. I was watching whose stream was it? Might have been Hotep's Been Told You, and they're talking about how gosh, this dude used to just be on the street all the time. Everyone's got jobs now, So that has nothing to do with the Great Society, obviously. I think, in general, in the black community, the black community is very, there's a high percentage of black people who are conservative minded as far as faith, as far as how to raise families, as far as certain issues. The problem is there is another perception that is constantly pounded into the ground by politicians or people who, my favorite term is the grievance grifters, because the grievance grifter is the one who tried to, the grievance grifter is the one who tried to make money off of oppression porn, okay, or oppression, and then there is a perception of the black community that the Republicans don't like black people, and that perception, whether it's real or not, is there, and so it's pounded into the ground, particularly by media and by politicians and by influencers and the grievance grifters. And so that's a hard perception. And here's the problem. When you on top of that, the notion that the Democrats are any better. Okay? And that's the part where I go, they're not any better, okay? I don't care if you have a R or D in front of your name. If you're not showing me that I'm the respect that I can do whatever I want to do, as long as you get the hell out of my way, then you're not helping me, okay? And it's interesting. I watched there's an interesting interview I listened to this morning. I don't know if you know who Byron Allen is. Byron Allen is a comedian. He got his start in Hollywood. And what's the song? Real People. There was a show called Real People in the late 70s, early 80s. Early 80s, I should say. Anyway, he's worked his way in through the business, started producing shows, bought TV stations. He's a billionaire black businessman. Born from a single mother. His mother was 16-year-old single mother in Detroit in 1961. Okay. He's a billionaire now. In fact, I just saw a story where he bought, I think 11, he just bought 11 television stations, paid $290 million for them. He has like 7 or 8 HD networks on the Verizon network or whatever. He has all these. He has complete network. He's a billionaire, and I wish every black kid in America could see that interview, because he's talking about where he came from, how he came up, talking about what he had to do to make connections or whatever, and there were points in the time where there were people who wouldn't do business with him because he was black. But he just he overcame that, and just kept going to fight with the right people, and ended up, he's far beyond success of those people that wouldn't do business with him at one time. And I think especially every black kid, but every kid in America should too, because it's an American success story. And I wish that were the message that kids were getting. That, hey, your circumstances now mean nothing in this country. Your circumstances as a child mean nothing. If you because you can succeed. And that's something that I go, we spend so much time talking about police shootings. I mean, if you would think that every single interaction with a police officer and a cop, or excuse me, and a black person ends up in a shooting with that person dead. Because that is the image we get from the news every day. Okay? And I bet you, most black people can name 20 people who've been shot by cops. I couldn't name a single person that's not black who's shot by a cop. But there's more of them than there are black people shot by cops. But we're so busy focused on that rather than, okay, saw a case that I want to say it was somewhere in Delaware. The case where boy got shot in a drive-by. Police came. Police officer, for some reason, it took an ambulance a long time to get there. The police were doing CPR on that kid for, 45 minutes while they were waiting for the ambulances to get there. They're working on the kid. And unfortunately, the kid died. And you never hear about those cases where the officers are trying to save a life or do save the life of a black kid. Or they do, respond to a murder and they solve a murder. Okay. Or you rarely hear about unless it's a really gruesome, high profile case, where they apprehend someone who committed a murder and got them convicted, but they didn't shoot him. Which happens more? But we're too busy hearing about someone calls it oppression porn. Okay, we're gonna make another slave movie. We're gonna have some oppression porn. Okay, instead of having a movie about Byron Allen, the successful black man who came from a single mother, who was, he was born with his mother 16 years old. Or what's the one dude made the movie? Oh, the Birth of a Nation movie. A movie about a strong black person who, took care of business. We're not talking about them. That's what I want to talk about. So, I'm sorry, I've got way off on this topic. Why do people ignore that Jews, Asians, Hispanics, and gays also overwhelmingly vote for the Democratic Party? Because Zuby's talking about black people. That's why. Why do you want to change the subject? If Republicans don't get the vote of any minority, isn't that their fault? Well, we do get 30% of the Hispanics. I'm sure we get a decent portion of Asians. I've seen Asians at the local Republican convention. Because why don't they? Because y'all are telling people that the Republicans hate you. Okay, and half you believe it, Angela. All right, moving on. Oh, Chris Cuomo. Do I really want to do this one? Unlike former President Nixon, President Trump has Fox News, which allows a supporter to live in an alternative fact world. Committee Chairman Adam Schiff says. Yeah, let's watch this one. No, we're not going to watch this one. I'm going to move on. Oh, gosh. Okay. We have some breaking news. Trevor Noah found dead at his home. He was shot 5 times in the back of the head. Coroner rules it a suicide. Okay, listen, I didn't get to watch this, but listen to this question he asked Hillary Clinton.
Hillary, I have to ask you a question that has been plaguing me for a while. How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein?
Now, let me just run that back, because
Hillary.
her reaction is classic. Listen to her reaction to the question. Kind of like, remember when she was talking about Gaddafi? We came, we saw, he died. And cackling away. Look at this reaction to this question.
I have to ask you a question that has been plaguing me for a while. How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein?
Now notice. Look at the difference between her reaction and Chelsea's reaction. Now watch Chelsea this time.
Kill Jeffrey Epstein.
She gave that like, oh fuck smile. Oh fuck. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty funny. Breaking: Trevor Noah found dead in his home. He was shot 5 times in the back of the head. Coroner rules it a suicide. I want to go watch that interview. Now, this one kind of annoys me. Tommy Lauren. Okay, now I just have a comment on this. So Tommy Lauren decides to tweet this out. I decided to dress up as the person who scares me the most. The Democratic dimwit darling, socialist-loving, freedom-hating former bartender herself. So she dresses up as AOC. Now, this is funny because look at this. Look at the counts on this. 47,000 likes, 5,700 retweets, 32,000 comments. She got ratioed the fuck on this. But here's my problem. Okay? And maybe this is just the narcissist generation. Of course, I'm a bit of a narcissist myself, so I should talk. But can anyone explain to me why she needed to tweet this out and why she tagged AOC on it? Help me, people. I don't get it. Okay? You want to go to Halloween as AOC? Good for you. Your friends will enjoy it at the parties you go to when you're drinking champagne or wine or whatever the fuck you drink or whatever you do. Okay? But this is part of, and I know that I agree with Tommy Lauren probably more than I would ever agree with AOC, although I think Tommy Lauren, Candace Owens, all those people who just like attention. Yeah, thank you, DL Afraid. She wants attention. I'm not convinced they're real. Okay? They play who they play on TV. But I think they like to stir mud more than actually have any solutions for anything. But anyway, why? You know, it's like, to fuck with them, I said, but why? It's unnecessary. Why tweak that person? And you can go have fun at your party and be you. But all this does is get people angry and pissed off and chirping and whatever. Yeah, you get some engagement on Twitter. Yippee! Let's see if some of the comments coming back at her. Oh, there, Green New Deal, the Communist Manifesto. Okay, Alyssa Milano. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Also, aren't you part of the party who claims to be for working Americans? Why say bartender like it's a bad thing? Yeah, she says, Democratic dimwit, darling, socialist loving, freedom hating, former bartender herself. Yeah, I'm a former bartender. I'm proud of my years as a bartender. I was a great bartender. I was one of the best in the country. And as well, let's put it this way. I worked for TGI Fridays for several years, and I was a very good bartender, and we had great bartenders there. We knew our customers' names. We knew our regulars. We very rarely had an empty glass on the bar, and I was very good at doing bottle tricks and things like that, known as bar flair. And I won competitions all over the country doing that. There's nothing. Bartending is a great job. I made a lot of cash. I golfed 5 days a week and worked at the bar 5 nights a week, and I got to taste a lot of alcohol. It was a great job, and some people make a great living at it. Now, AOC was not a bartender, by the way. She was a waitress in a bar. They keep saying she was a bartender. She's not a bartender. She's not a bartender. Hey, but this is just one of those stupid things. It's some unnecessary chirping. And so if it was FTG Friday, as opposed to FTG, well, you know what? We didn't do any FTGs yesterday. FTG to Ana Navarro. Who else? Chris Cuomo, just because, and FTG to Tommy Lawrence. Sorry, Tommy. That was big fat fail. Thank you. Oh, Jim Amash. He's the guy who's the former Republican who became independent. This president will be in power for only a short time, but excusing his misbehavior will forever tarnish your name. To my Republican colleagues, well, you're not a Republican anymore, Justin. Step outside your media and social bubble. History will not look kindly on disingenuous, frivolous, and false defenses of this man. Jim, or Justin, excuse me. I don't know. The evidence is not out there yet, and if he did something wrong, fine. Do what you got to do, but I'm not convinced. And you need to wait until we see what comes out of the IG report that's coming out. John Durham's investigation. We clearly have a criminal investigation beginning, and as I mentioned yesterday, John Durham's been on this longer than just a few months. He's been on this since March of 2018. We just didn't know that because his office doesn't leak like a sieve, like some of the other investigators who have been investigating things over the last 3 years. All right, moving on. Oh, this guy was... I'm not even showing you that. That was gross. I'm not... Now, look. Here, I'm just going to... Here, let's do this. Can I? No, I'm not going to do it. And then we do have some breaking news, and this is interesting. Turkey and Russia have launched their first joint patrol in northeastern Syria as a part of a deal that halted Turkish offensive against Syrian Kurdish fighters who were forced to withdraw from the border area following Ankara's incursion. Where's the... Now it's... Oh, yeah, Turkey and Russia launched joint patrols in northeastern Syria region under a deal that halted Turkey's offensive there. Now, here's the interesting thing. That was part of the deal. It wasn't giving it over, but they do have joint patrols on that northeastern border, right? The first comment. So Trump handed Syria to the Russians. Got it. Syria was already an ally with the Russians. Dumbass. Okay, we were there to help to protect the Kurds and fought with the Kurds to get rid of ISIS, which the Syrians were also trying to get rid of ISIS. Nobody likes ISIS, but our mission is pretty much done there. And you know what? That region, Turkey and Syria, both were more allies with the Russians. We were never allies with the Syrians. Let's just put it that way. Okay? We weren't allies with the Syrians. We were not allies with Assad. Just a reminder. Dumbass. All right, hey, it's time. It's time for the daily Twitter trends. You know what? No one wanted to jump in the dog park. That's cool. I actually do have guests next week for sure. So we'll do dog park Friday with my guests next week. I'm gonna skip it today. Let's get into the trends today on Twitter. I need to do the obligatory stretch it out there. All right, now. Oh wait, I want to see what that was though. There was something cool here. Where is it? Here's the. Oh, it took. Oh my gosh, that's pretty scary. It took Heidi Klum over 10 hours to put on her Halloween costume off. I wonder how long it took for Seal to take it off. Dude. Okay, this is Heidi Klum's Halloween costume. That is freaky. Look at that shit. Oh wait, she's not married to. Did she and Seal get a? Did she and? Yeah, I'm not doing the tranny abortion. That's gross. If you saw that, it was just disgusting. And me being, believing that abortion should be legal, but I think they need to have some limits. That is one of those things that goes, you know what? Fuck this shit. It's just gross. Anyway, she is divorced from Seal. Okay. So anyway, what a freaky costume. Heidi Klum. Look at that shit. People are freaking out. That is amazing. So it took her 10 hours to put that costume together. Yeah, that's a freaky costume. Look at that shit. That's awesome. Anyway, that's cool. All right, let's get into Twitter trends now. And I'll, wait, I passed that up. Twitter trends, show more. All right, here we go. Number one on Twitter trends today is, we do Twitter trends because we want to know what people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day and what people are going to be making videos about and publishing them in the next few days. So, number one, Dark Fate X Gears 5 sweepstakes is trending number one. Really? You know, it almost dismays me at how huge gaming has become. That it would be trending number one on Twitter, something about a game, right? And because, people would be talking about movies, people would be talking about new music, but now games is in that same realm. And I am proud of the fact that I was one of the original gamers. Okay, I was because used to go to the roller skating rink and play games on a little thing in the roller skating rink, and I played Space Invaders and what else was my favorite ones? Space Invaders was my favorite. Galaga and all those classic games, Pac-Man, all those. I played those in the roller skating rink, right? But fascinatingly enough, I had the original Atari Pong game attached to a television set in my house, which was pretty much the first console ever made was the Atari Pong, and I had it, and we played Pong in the basement at my house. So I was the first, the gamer in the basement. That would have been me. Anyway, Dark Fate X Gears 5 sweepstakes. I don't know what the deal is, but it's all about the machine. Join the side that wins. Okay. Skynet will bring peace and harmony to Earth after all us pesky humans are terminated, of course. Dark Fate X Gears 5 sweepstakes. Oh, here we go. Want to win a Terminator Xbox One X Gears 5 and the new Terminator DLC? Retweet and love this tweet. Comment which side you support, humanity or the machines. Okay, that's why it's trending, because they're having a contest. And so there you go. Boop, 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 boop. Yep, there you go. Moving on. Number two trending on Twitter today is Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Now let's find out. Someone mentioned Jeffree Star earlier today, who is in the running for the gayest person on YouTube, but I think we have the gayest person on YouTube in our chat. Let's find out what's going on. What is this about? Okay, not that I really freaking care, but me telling my man about Shane Dawson x Jeffree Star. Anybody know? Telling my man. Okay. List of items and prices in the collection. Oh, I see. They have a makeup line or something. Oh, good God. Is that what's happening? The prices for anyone in the UK. So this is in pounds. Conspiracy palette, $52. Oh, they have the English and American dollars here. The pound and the dollar. Mini controversy palette, $28. Shane and Jeffrey palette bundle, $72. They're selling makeup. Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, their makeup line apparently is coming out, and that's what people are excited about. You know, okay, chat, do me a favor. Just type boomer ! At me. And I'm going to I won't even have to say anything. Just type boomer with an exclamation point, because that's how I'm feeling right now. Okay, Fight for Wono, that's a K-pop thing. I'm skipping it. Friday Feeling. What's happened? Who's got a Friday? Well, now Ashley Ray Goldberg is the top of all of mine. I don't want her on the top of all of mine. Friday Feeling. In other words, get with it, you heavy breathing, carbon footprint increasing Earth haters. Okay. Baby Bear refuses to let go of the ranger that saved him from the fire. Friday Feeling. Oh. The bear, he saved him from the fire and the bear wants to hug him. Oh. That is so sweet. Oh, that's precious. Here, let's see. Let's have some sound on that. Oh, that's just music. I don't need the music. All right. Less stress, more output. That's Friday Feeling. That's a pretty ingenious way of gardening. Or whatever he's doing. That's funny. And here we'll finish this. November sky is chill and drear. November's leaf is red and sere. Sir Walter Scott. Now, I'm in the Twin Cities here. It's November, and most of the leaves are already gone. So, although there's some still changing, but now that we had temperatures under 30 degrees, they're all turning yellow instead of red. So, and if you're not familiar with that process, all right. Moving on with Friday Feelings. Fitbit's trending number 5. Google. Oh my gosh, Google acquired Fitbit in a deal worth $2.1 billion with a B, dollars. That's interesting because, that watch market is kind of, it's interesting. For example, my son has an Apple Watch, my wife has a Samsung watch, and my daughter wants a Fitbit watch. And I just want to watch my wallet. Okay, yippee for Fitbits. If you're into Fitbits, there you go. It's going to be owned by Google now. Death Stranding is a game, I believe, that is trending also. Death Stranding is strange, shocking, and as good as you expect. Here's a spoiler-free review. Looks like they used the face from the guy from Walking Dead for this. Oh, now this is interesting. So Sean says, reviews for Death Stranding are in. It's both confusing and either good or bad. Okay. So a lot of people are talking about this game. Okay, that's cool. Wait, here's another picture. See, it looks like the guy from Walking Dead. Death Stranding is dense, complex, and powerful. It's steadfast in its belief in the power of love and hope when faced with overwhelming adversity. Well, it's over love and hope. Okay. Moving on. November 1st, trending because it's November 1st. By the way, this dude, if you're anywhere in the Philadelphia area, in this guy's district, vote for this guy. His name is Maj Touré. It's November 1st, so if you know folks in Philadelphia, you need to get them to check out Maj Touré. Then vote Maj Touré for city council at large. This dude's a good dude. He's the founder of Black Guns Matter. Maybe not the founder, but he's involved with Black Guns Matter, and he's just a smart dude. He's a guy who really wants to make a difference in the city of Philadelphia, and he's starting straight up from the straight up from the local. Politics really needs to be more local, and this guy wants to make a difference. I've been following him on Twitter for a while. He's just a good dude. If you're in the Philly area, read up on Maj Touré, and then please consider going and voting for him. Moving on. What are we doing here? Oh, November 1st. All kinds of November 1st. It's the day of the month. The first day of the month always trends. Merry Christmas is trending. What? It's November 1st. Why is Merry Christmas trending with Mariah Carey? Halloween is over, so now Merry Christmas. No! Merry Christmas on November 1st. Wait a minute. Oh, this is funny. Me on November 1st. Christmas. Hey, Thanksgiving. Come on. What about Thanksgiving? That's funny, actually. Oh, fuck your Merry Christmas. It is greedy season, bitches, and don't forget it. Wow. Now I'm curious what they put here. Let's listen to this.
Look, I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it. Look. I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs.
Why did she put dogs in that sentence? I'm not sure I understand with that. Hogs, dogs. I'm not eating no dogs. Anyway, moving on. No to Merry Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas the day after Thanksgiving, and I am not shopping on Black Friday. By the way, here's some great advice from the P-Dog Night channel for your Christmas shopping enjoyment. The best days to shop during the Christmas season between November 1st and December 25th are Monday mornings. That's the best time to shop. That's the only time I even bother walking into a store during the Christmas season, because on Monday mornings, if you're able to do it, nobody's in the store. They won't bug you, okay? Don't shop at Fridays. Don't shop in the evenings. Don't shop on the weekends, God forbid. Monday mornings. In fact, the closest mall to my house, just happens to be the Mall of America, the largest enclosed shopping mall in the United States of America. It's a tourist attraction. It's in fact, it's still the number 2 tourist attraction in the country, only behind Disney World, which is insane to me still. But we get a lot of foreign visitors who come to the Mall of America. But anyway, even during Christmas season, the Mall of America on Monday mornings is very easy to get around because nobody's there. I don't know why, but that's it. So if you really need to go to a store and not use Amazon, you want to touch things and go, here, this is what it feels like, and this is what it smells like, this is what it tastes like. During Christmas season, shop on Mondays. That's my Christmas advice to you from the P-Dog Night channel. Moving on. Kojima. They made Death Stranding. I'm not even going to click it. New month. It's a new month. Yes, November is a new month, and it's trending. And oh gosh, I gotta be careful when I click things because I don't know why. Happy New Month, Titans. Love and appreciate y'all. Erica Moore Brand. I don't know why she's on there, but I thank God she's clothed. This is nice though. This is my Friday feeling and my fall feeling. Look how beautiful that is. With all the yellow leaves and whatever. I don't know where this is. Where is this? Does it say? I don't care. It's just a beautiful thing. And, I love scenes like this. I hate them all. Yeah, I hate them all. Anyway, moving on. The new month, that's Departed is... Oh, The Departed. Why is that trending? Oh, what are your top 5 Martin Scorsese pictures? Oh, that's a good question. I get confused though. Isn't Goodfellas Scorsese? I like that. The Departed is good. Let's see. What are people? This Departed is trending because that's in someone's top 5. It's 7. Oh, it's 7 out of 10. Fucking Hugo, which is kind of a Spielberg movie, is better than The Departed. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore is top 5. Silence is better than The Departed. It's weird you need me to set you straight on important shit. So lots of people are talking about The Departed, Goodfellas, Casino. Oh gosh, you know what? Hang on, I have to censor because this chick better not be naked. Okay, she's not. She's just got her cleavage hanging out there. Where was it? Okay, I was just gonna scroll through this, and I thought, oh god, here's one of those trick you into looking at naked people's. Okay, so here's someone's list: Gangs of New York, number 1; The Departed, number 2; Goodfellas, number 3; Wolf of Wall Street, number 4; and The Time He Played a Fish in Shark Tale. I had put Goodfellas above both of those. I think Goodfellas is a great movie. It's not perfect, but it's a great movie. Anyway, if you have a favorite Scorsese pick, put it in the chat. Moving on, Orinda, new month. They moved around. They're switching around already. Mariah Carey's trending. What? Shop Mariah Carey's holiday must-have on Amazon? Okay, whatever. It's 25th anniversary of Mariah Carey's Christmas holiday classic. All I Want for Christmas Is You. I fucking hate that song. Sorry. I know probably a lot of you like it. I hate that song. I don't know. I like Mariah Carey. I just don't like that particular song. Orinda, 4 dead after holiday party shooting in Orinda, California. 4 people were killed and at least another 4 injured in a shooting at a house party Thursday night in the San Francisco Bay Area. Police Chief David Cook of Orinda, California tells CNN. You know, people were being overwhelmed by the crowd where the shooting happened on Halloween night. Okay, the story's developing. And I see that there's a person here who's being taken away in a stretcher. This story isn't going to go any farther than that because, well, I'm not going to say why. Well, oh my God. Motherfuckers took their thoughts and prayers back after they found out that party in Orinda where 4 people died was thrown by black people. The response went from gun control now to who rented an Airbnb to these idiots real fast as they found the flyer. Y'all are trash. Guess what? And that's the gun control people. Oh my God. And that's why you're not going to hear about it. Nothing ever happens in Orinda. I literally didn't even know they had police because there's never been a crime there, but yet another mass shooting. Fuck your thoughts and prayers. We need gun control. I'll bet you $1,000 right now. Gun control, any gun control measure they would have thought of wouldn't have helped this party anyway. This wasn't a like someone's going to go out and do a mass shoot. This is someone who started firing a gun off at a party. Probably didn't. Well, we'll find out. We will find out. I got a feeling. Maybe we will hear more about this. This is developing. We'll talk about it later. Maybe we'll talk about it Monday. They'll have more updates over the weekend. But I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Okay, World Vegan Day. Are you kidding me? World Vegan Day. It's been mostly vegan. I've been mostly vegan for 1 year. How is it so possible to be so passionate about not harming an animal, but it's okay to rip a human being limb from limb via abortion? Okay. Can we focus on the Vegan Day? I get your point there. It's not a terrible point because especially vegans who are pro-abortion. Nobody's really pro-abortion, are they? Except for that fucking weirdo who did that thing on Twitter that I'm not going to show you. Avocados aren't vegan? What? Okay. I don't know why. Why aren't avocados vegan? Okay. So anyway, I don't care because fucking vegans. Blade Runner. Oh, Blade Runner fans, the future is today. Is there a Blade Runner game out or something? I've waited 37 years to tweet this. It tears like rain. I made it. Oh. Because when the original Blade Runner was made, it was supposed to be November 2019. And so that's when Blade Runner was set. So Blade Runner is going to be trending today. I would be shocked if that got to number one. Once it was a movie set in the future, now it's the present. Our present Blade Runner. Interesting. I've never seen Blade Runner. I need to see that movie now. Just like Back to the Future, the third Back to the Future when they go to the second Back to the Future 2, set in it's like 2005 and there's no hoverboards, there's not flying cars or any of that shit. So anyway, Nano right Mo 2019. What the hell does that mean? Apparently another writing thing that they do that I don't know anything about. We're going to skip that. I don't know. Who cares? Friday motivation, Friday morning. Oh, and daylight savings time. Friday morning, Friday motivation, Friday shit is there. And now we're going to finish with daylight savings time. Science says how daylight savings time affects health. Office workers bemoan. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I skipped it. Hang on. AP News. Office workers bemoan driving home in the dark. Night owls relish the chance to sleep in. As clocks tick toward the end of daylight savings time, many sleep scientists and circadian biologists are pushing for a permanent ban because of potential ill effects on human health. Losing an hour of afternoon daylight sounds like a gloomy preview for the dark winter months, and at least one study found an increase in people seeking help for depression after turning the clocks back to standard time in November in Scandinavia. What? Anyway, research shows the springtime start of daylight saving times may be more harmful, linking it with more car accidents, heart attacks, and vulnerable people, and other health problems that may persist throughout time. The time change, women and minority mostly affected more. Didn't really say that, but it might as well. Here's what science has to say about a twice yearly ritual affecting nearly 2 billion people worldwide. Time changes mess with sleep schedules, a potential problem when so many people are already sleep deprived, said Dr. Phyllis Z., a sleep researcher at Northwestern Medicine in Chicago. About 1 in 3 U.S. adults sleep less than the recommended 7 hours plus nightly, and more than half of U.S. teens don't get the recommended 8 hours plus hours on weeknights. One U.S. study found that in the week following the spring switch to daylight savings time, teens slept about 2.5 hours less than the previous week. Many people never catch up during the subsequent 6 months. Research suggests that chronic sleep deprivation causes increased levels of stress, hormones that boost heart rate and blood pressure, and of chemicals that trigger inflammation. So they go down through a list of things of why daylight savings times will kill you. And again, women and minorities affected most. So there you go. So please, as you change daylight savings time, which I believe is this weekend. Is it this weekend? Well, here, daylight saving times. Please be sure to not die because of daylight savings time. All it really does is screw up your sleep schedule and gives your boss an excuse to make you come into work earlier. Just get rid of it, please. Anyway, fall back this Sunday. Remember to change your clocks, or if you just use your phone as your clock, your phone will do it automatically. Your computers usually do it automatically. But if you have clocks in your house, you got to change those, because you're going to get up and you're going to go, is this time right? And then you're going to go like, oh, I don't know. And then you'll be remember, I better look at my phone. And then you realize you're an hour late for work. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait, no, in the fall, you get an extra hour of sleep, though. Fall back. So never mind. You're going to get up. You're going to get up for work. And what's going to happen is you're going to go into work and nobody's going to be there because you're there an hour earlier because you forgot to change your clock. So don't be that guy or that gal or whoever it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go. I got to leave. It's time for the Morning Night Live to be done. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for our super chatters, particularly C. Thomas, Johnny Hellcat. I appreciate you guys for the shekels that you throw in the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. Also, those of you who are here in the chat, making a day of it. I hope you had fun today. Bye, Lady Boomer. Oh, I didn't. She didn't. She came by and didn't say anything, and then she left. It's okay. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you greatly. I might do a stream this weekend, so watch your notifications. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button on your way out. While you're thinking about it right now, click it. I don't make that number rise, right? Click the like button. And if you would be so kind to share the stream out if you haven't done so already. Also, we do take donations and super chats through the Streamlabs link down below. So, thank you very much. I hope you all have a great weekend. I know I'm going to. We're gonna take our Halloween decorations down and put up our Thanksgiving decorations or something like that. Oh, Lady Boomer's there. Good morning.
Hi. Happy birthday to my dad.
Oh yeah. And happy birthday to my father-in-law. Oh, that makes me sad. Anyway, y'all have a great day and a great weekend. I'm gonna go. My name is P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. I already said it. Bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.
All right. Like on the road, you have it, so you could just go out and drive.